Dirty Hands is a political drama set during World War II, exploring themes of morality, ideology, and political action. The protagonist, Hugo Barine, is a young intellectual and communist who is tasked with assassinating Hoederer, a pragmatic leader in his own party. Hugo is torn between his ideological purity and the necessity of compromising to achieve political ends. The play unfolds as he goes undercover to gather information, but as he gets closer to Hoederer, he becomes conflicted. Hugo finds himself questioning his beliefs, as Hoederer's willingness to work with other political factions challenges his purist ideology. Hoederer, in contrast to Hugo, is a realist who believes that achieving political goals sometimes requires making morally questionable alliances. He sees compromise as essential for the survival and success of their political cause. As Hugo spends more time with Hoederer, he starts to admire his practical approach, even though it conflicts with his initial mission. The tension between their differing perspectives serves as the central conflict of the play, creating an atmosphere of suspense and moral ambiguity. Ultimately, Hugo's internal struggle culminates in a fateful decision when he finally confronts Hoederer. The play raises questions about the price of political action and the cost of staying true to one's ideals. Hugo must decide whether to follow through with the assassination as planned or to accept the necessity of compromise. Sartre uses this conflict to explore the idea that individuals must sometimes dirty their hands in the pursuit of higher goals, challenging the audience to think critically about morality and political action. The conclusion leaves Hugo's character in a state of disillusionment as he faces the consequences of his actions. Hugo is forced to confront the reality that pure ideological convictions are not always practical in the real world. The play's ambiguous ending suggests that the quest for absolute purity is not only impossible, but may also lead to moral and existential paralysis. Through Dirty Hands, Sartre critiques both rigid dogmatism and opportunistic pragmatism. He portrays the complexities of political and moral decisions, showing that even the noblest of intentions can be compromised by the messy realities of power and human relationships. The play asks whether it is possible to remain morally pure while engaging in political action, or if such engagement inevitably leads to ethical compromise. Life lessons from Dirty Hands, moral complexity and decision-making. The play demonstrates that life often requires navigating moral ambiguity. Idealism and pragmatism are in constant tension, and sometimes decisions must be made that are not entirely clean or pure. The price of ideological purity. Hugo's struggle shows that rigid adherence to ideology can be paralyzing and even destructive. Real-world outcomes often demand flexibility and compromise, making ideological purity impractical in politics and life. Compromise as a necessity. Hoederer's character embodies the idea that to achieve greater goals, one might need to make concessions. The play suggests that some level of compromise is inevitable, especially when the stakes are high. The burden of responsibility, Dirty Hands, emphasizes that every choice carries consequences. Hugo's ultimate decision shows that individuals must bear the responsibility of their actions, even when those actions betray their initial ideals. The search for authenticity. Sartre encourages readers to seek authenticity, balancing personal beliefs with the complexities of reality. Instead of rigidly following ideology or succumbing entirely to pragmatism, the play suggests finding a path that integrates both, while remaining true to one's deeper values.